Z Business Plus makes managing fuel easy. It's fee-free with choice benefits like 8 cents off every litre, every day, everywhere you need us. Sign up today for the 2022 CanStar Blue Best Small Business Fuel Card. Z is for New Zealand. T's and C's apply.
The FIFA World Cup is live on Sky Sport.
Oh, what a goal!
See every game of football's ultimate showcase.
Glorious!
You need to subscribe to Sky Starter and Sky Sport to watch this premium content. For details, see sky.co.nz. Welcome to Football FIFA with Jason Pine.
I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Powered by News Talk ZB and Sky Sport, the home of the FIFA World Cup. All 64 matches live.
Welcome into Football Fever, your daily World Cup podcast brought to you by Sky Sport. I'm Jason Pine. David Choate is here as per usual, reviewing two more matches in the round of 16 in Qatar this morning. Let's start with France 3, Poland 1 on Sky Sport.
The holders are not going to let go of the trophy easily. On this evidence, it may well have to be prized from their grasp. France power their way through to the World Cup quarter-finals.
Allez les Bleus, an absolute statement from France. They were never, ever troubled in this game. Poland tried hard, but were just overwhelmed, really. Olivier Giroud opening the scoring for France just before half-time.
A flash of space, a flash of brilliance, onto the score sheet, into the record books. Olivier Giroud out on his own as France's top scorer of all time.
Giroud's 52nd goal for France, taking him past Thierry Henry. We'll talk about what happened in the second half in a minute, Chody, with the Kylian Mbappe show. But I was a bit disappointed with Poland in this. Did you think that they were a bit tepid?
Yeah, they didn't really ever rise to the occasion. They had to play sort of above themselves to get anything out of it. So you wonder whether it's a good opposition that doesn't allow them to do that. But, no, they never really hit any great heights. In fact, it was a bit of a procession. I thought France were well worth their win. And in the end, it was the most consolation of consolation goals with the retake on the penalty and time ticking away.
Yep.
Good. France, allez les Bleus.
Allez les Bleus. Giroud, 36 years and 65 days old, the oldest goal scorer in the knockout stages since Roger Miller back in 1990. Giroud probably wouldn't even be playing if Benzema was fit, but he's doing okay for an old fella.
Doing okay. He's doing fantastically well. He's got everything, isn't he? Like, he gets sort of those bumbling goals. He gets the headed goals. He nearly got a bicycle again today, if you saw that one, Piney, after the whistle had gone, to be fair. But, no, Giroud's the business. He's a out-and-out centre forward. He's a point of the attack, and he will be a threat against anybody. Coming towards the end, of course, of his international career, but at the other end of the age spectrum, the Kylian Mbappe show in the second half, 2-0 on 74 minutes, then he made it 3-0 right near the end. His fifth goal of the tournament, Golden Boot leader, too clear of anybody else. Chody, he's still only 23. He's now scored as many World Cup goals as Lionel Messi, but in 3 fewer World Cups. Unbelievable player. He's got it all for me. He's power, he's pace, he's quality, he's aggressive, he's arrogant, he's French, he's good, he's very good. Sacre bleu. Mbappe.
Is he the kind of guy who can carry a team to a World Cup final, to a World Cup victory even?
Yeah, definitely, because not only is he a good finisher, he's a good player for the setup. He set up the goal for Giroud, didn't he? And he also, I think I saw a stat, in internationals now, he's scored 30-something, but he's assisted 20-something, so he's worth about 50-odd goals to all their international play. So he is certainly the player that makes them tick. And this French side are without some big names, but the big name for us for this World Cup would have to be Kylian Mbappe.
Just a few more stats on what he's achieved. Only 23, as I say, the first player to score 8 goals in the World Cup before his 24th birthday. 52 goals this calendar year, 16 in his last 14 games for France. And every time Mbappe starts and scores, France win. So that's a pretty good omen as well. Poland, as you say, awarded a penalty deep into added time. Robert Lewandowski needed a couple of goes at it, didn't he? The first effort saved by Hugo Lloris had to be retaken. He scored at the second attempt, last action of the game. I'm not sure what he's doing with a stuttering runner, but those things annoy me, Chody. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old.
Yeah, we may be getting old, but for me, they just look a bit cute, don't they? Hey, just back on the Mbappe show and what's going on at the World Cup, I read some Arsene Wenger stuff. He's now working for FIFA in some sort of consultancy role. He's on the payroll. But I don't know if you read it, Piney, but he thinks the two sort of innovations for this World Cup, or the two things to look for, are sides with players with width. So he thinks lots of the goals are coming from crosses, which is true. And when you think about width, I think Mbappe plays that role pretty well, doesn't he? So when he blasts down the sideline, he looks like an express train. And he said the keepers who can play out from the back. So I think two observations well worth watching over the coming weeks.
Yeah, and we'll get to England in a sec because they once again showed a bit of width this morning as well. Just to finish on Poland, I mean, they make it through to the round of 16. Lewandowski, as I say, the last action of the game was him scoring the penalty at the second attempt. They came, they saw, they kind of went home, really.
They achieved probably what you would expect a Polish side to achieve. They got out of their group. They're a European, I'm not going to call them a powerhouse, but they're a decent outfit. But they haven't got the same quality as France and England. The cream always rises.
All right, and just before we move on from this game, Hugo Lloris equalling Lilian Thuram as the most capped French player ever, 142 caps. I think his son, Lilian Thuram's son's in this French side now, and he's also equalled Thierry Henry and Fabien Barthez for the joint most World Cup appearances for Les Bleus with 17. So he will break both of those records, no doubt, in the quarter-final against England.
FFP with Piney.
England 3, Senegal 0 on Sky Sport.
Senegal still plugging away, but they'll plug away no more. They will head towards the World Cup door. England march on to the quarter-finals in cruise control.
Thought England were pretty lukewarm in the first half. Senegal created a bit. Jordan Pickford had to make one big save, and then Jordan Henderson opening the scoring, the 7th different England goal scorer. Harry Kane had none by that point, but he put that right just before half-time. England mounting an outstanding counter-attack on Sky Sport.
Foden with the ball into Harry Kane. Can England finish the first half in style? You bet they can. Harry Kane's first goal of this World Cup.
Harry Kane making it 2-0. 11 goals at major tournaments for England now, more than Gary Lineker as the country's all-time top scorer in major competitions. Harry Kane, 52 goals in 79 games, one behind Wayne Rooney, who needed 117 games for his 53. He hadn't scored up till now, and now he has. Maybe it'll open the floodgates for Harry Kane.
Who knows, but for me, much like the first game, Piney, England were, head and shoulders better than Senegal. There was different class on the park. They too have quality players, Kane just being one of those names. They've got a bit of youth, got a bit of pace, got a bit of everything. I'll tell you who I really like. I like Jude Bellingham. For such a young man, he looks really the highest quality of player, and he comes out of the middle of the park and he can release those wide players, or he can hold the ball when he needs to. He can do most things, can Jude Bellingham. So he is a definite talent. But England, too good for Senegal. They win every time they play African sides. I mentioned you say it was 20 games. Well, now it's 21. They don't lose to African nations, to England. So England marched into the next round.
Yeah, they did, and I think they had to make a statement, didn't they, after the way France played. If England had kind of, stumbled and bumbled their way to a 1-0 win or something like that, there would have been, not too many people backing them against France. The way they played, Bellingham, what a player, as you say, just the second teenager to start a game for England at the World Cup after Michael Owen. I thought Foden again was excellent, setting up that goal for Saka with that really clever finish. I was just trying to remember who played in the middle of midfield with Rice before Bellingham came along. It was Calvin Phillips. We've hardly seen him, have we?
Hardly. And Henderson sort of made, unlikely goal scorer, but he's made the defensive midfield slot his own. Surprise in the lineup. I thought Rashford would start after getting a couple of goals, but he rolled the changes, and there are so many options available for England in that sort of top half of the field. Things look good for them.
They do. A massive game coming up. Just before that, though, they now have scored 12 goals at the World Cup, more than anybody else, and their World Cup high was 12. That was in 2018, and they've had 3 fewer matches so far in this tournament. So 12 goals for England. As I say, Harry Kane on the verge of breaking Wayne Rooney's national record. Now they come to a blockbuster quarter-final Sunday morning against France. Can England beat France?
Oh, yeah. No question. There's not any fear in this English side. They'll back themselves to beat France. Actually, we've been dished up just a the juiciest of quarterfinals so far when you think about the Dutch versus the Argentinians. What a dream match that is. And France, England, you couldn't call a better one, could you?
No.
Worthy of a final, to be fair. Both of these sides would be fancied before the tournament to be the types of teams who could go to a final. But a massive, massive match. France, England, really tight. I favour the French, I think, because of the Mbappe factor. He looks like, the kind of sort of circuit breaker that could bust open a game that could be tight. And we haven't seen England yet go under the pump in any one of their games. Have they spent any amount of time fighting a rear guard action? And you've got to think against France that they will spend time when they're desperately defending. So we shall see if if England can stand up against a French attack that's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it is looking good, and that's the thing I think for Gareth Southgate is how does he nullify, Kylian Mbappe, who sort of plays up and down the left, so right back, is it a Kyle Walker situation with the pace that he brings?
It's made for Kyle Walker. I think that's would be clearly in the mind of Southgate as he thinks about this one. Walker is fast and physical because he's playing a beast of a man. I mean, he's built like a boxer, isn't he, Mbappe? But Kyle Walker's no slouch, and he's tough to boot. So I think that's a fascinating matchup.
Oh, I can't wait. Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, that one. Netherlands, Argentina, as Chody just mentioned, Saturday morning. Those are our two blockbuster quarterfinals locked in already.
Football Fever, thanks to Sky Sport, the home of the FIFA World Cup. All 64 matches live.
Just a quick look ahead to tomorrow's two round of 16 clashes. Hard to know what to expect here. 4 a.m, Japan v Croatia. 8 a.m, Brazil v South Korea. Any sort of early preliminary thoughts on these two, Chody?
Well, I suppose you've got to think about the Asian factor. Japan and South Korea are out of that Asian Confederation, and both have a similarity about them in that they won't see a lot of the ball you wouldn't expect, so they'll play without the ball. Japan have proved how successful they can be at that, but you'd got to think that Brazil and Croatia probably a bridge too far for both of those Asian nations.
Yeah, I don't mind Japan. I must say I don't mind Japan against Croatia. I can't see South Korea getting close to Brazil, but yeah, the way Japan have sort of managed themselves. They finished top of a group that had Spain and Germany in it, beat them both.
Yeah, I suppose, but remember, Croatia are good.
Yeah, good. That's your adjective of this World Cup. Croatia.
For Croatia it is. They're just good.
When will they be? If they win this game and go into a quarter-final, presumably against Brazil, they're going to have to be very good to beat Brazil, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll be quite good. But no, I'll extend myself to a very good. It's not that I don't like the Croatians. They just sort of have that kind of side that I think I've used the word about 1,000 times, metronomic. They just tick over, keep ticking over. And look, they have the one little maestro, don't they, in Luka Modric, who is the aging star of their side, who is, he's got a fantastic legacy in football already, and wouldn't it be great to see him go one more?
It would indeed. So 2 more matches tomorrow morning in the round of 16 on Sky Sport. 4 a.m, Japan v Croatia. 8 a.m, Brazil v South Korea. The winners of those two games will meet in the quarterfinals. Another jam-packed morning of football to enjoy. Another one tomorrow. We'll talk about the same time tomorrow, Chody.
Piney, the cream is rising. I'm just looking for the cherry on top.
The FIFA World Cup is live on Sky Sport.
Oh, what a goal!
See every game of football's ultimate showcase.
Glorious!
You need to subscribe to Sky Starter and Sky Sport to watch this premium content. For details, see sky.co.nz. Thought-provoking, opinionated, enlightening. The Leighton Smith Podcast.
Frank Newman discusses the lies and deceit behind Three Waters, but a warning, there is strong language, like fake, sham, gross dishonesty, charade, probably even worse. And a warning from a British law professor over New Zealand's Supreme Court, playing a foolish game of politics. Podcast 183.
Subscribe now on iHeartRadio and get the latest episode now. The Leighton Smith Podcast, powered by News Talk ZB.